This is a list of every mythic and exotic in Fortnite Reload, and in today's video we are finding every single one. This game I pulled a mythic Hyperburst, which is actually one of the most underrated pistols in Reload, but that was nothing too crazy and I'll give that a 6 out of 10. Now in the next game I pulled a shockwave hammer, and not too long later I even found a heavy impact sniper rifle. Now both of these mythics are pretty mid, but I'll give them a 5 and a 6 out of 10. This game I pulled the unstable Frostfire shotgun. After the bug was fixed, it's actually one of the best shotguns in all of Reload. And I will give it a 9 out of 10. And the game after that I even found the pizza dev chest, which I barely found after clutching up a game on 1 HP. And in my opinion, that is one of the best dev chests in Reload, because it has both the mythic pump and the hollow twister. 10 out of 10. Now the game after that I just found like a mythic goldfish, which is nothing too crazy and arguably the worst mythic in all of Reload. 3 out of 10. And a few games later I actually pulled the unstable Thunderclap DMR, which is probably the best DMR to ever exist in this game. I'll only give it a 7 because DMR is arguably the worst class of weapons in all of Fortnite. Now in the next game where I found a mythic, I actually pulled one of the craziest combos to ever exist, when I pulled a mythic Havoc together with the Marksman Wrecker Revolver. The fact that you can double pump these makes these even better, but individually I'll give them both a 10 because they're one of the best weapons to ever exist. Now the game after that, I actually pulled a Lawless Trinity Assault Rifle, which for some reason Lizardar still hasn't found yet. And because it shoots 3 bullets at a time, the recoil is much easier to manage and it has the same DPS as the mythic one, which makes this a really good assault rifle. 9 out of 10. A few games later I found the Enhanced Wrecker Revolver and the Lawless Twinfire Slap Shotgun, which was one of the craziest double pump combo I've ever seen. I'll give the Enhanced Wrecker Revolver a 9, but because the Twinfire Auto Shotgun as a shotgun is pretty mid, I'd give that one only a 5. I then found a mythic OXR rifle, which because of its insanely high headshot multiplier, is one of the best mythic ARs to ever exist. 8 out of 10. After that, I barely found Core's Deadeye DMR after clutching with no reboots and only a grey AR. The Mythic DMR is arguably better than the exotic one because of its high headshot damage. 6 out of 10. The game after that, I pulled Midas's Gilded Eye drum gun, and because of its scope, it is insanely accurate and may just be the best drum gun in Fortnite history. 9 out of 10. After killing this guy, I found the Lawless Stink Rifle, which is just the exotic version of the hunting rifle, and is insanely accurate. I also found the Lawless Slap Jug. I would give them 5 out of 10 and a 6 out of 10. The game after that, I found Valeria's Hyper SMG, which is honestly the worst Chapter 5 Mythic to exist. 4 out of 10. I then found an insanely rare combo after killing a person with Sky's Grappler, and a few kills later, this guy had the Lawless Explosive Mammoth Pistol. I'll give Sky's Grappler a 7 out of 10 and the Lawless Explosive Mammoth Pistol a 8. After pulling a Mythic Record Revolver at the start of the game, I managed to find an exotic Trouble, which made for another insane double pump combo. As you get Siphon on each hit, and you can also one pump, I'll give Trouble a 9 out of 10. After killing this guy, I found the Dual Spider Gun, and after they nerfed it to the ground, this Mythic kinda mid. 5 out of 10. The next game I randomly found a Mythic Sweeper, and after I got overshadowed by the Record Revolver in Chapter 6 Season 4, it's actually really underrated and I'll even give it a 7 out of 10. And at the end of the very next game, I killed a guy with the Eradicator Hop Rock Fury Assault Rifle, which for some reason has absolutely no bloom and feels like aimbot. 9 out of 10. A few games later, I pulled the Unstable Yoink Shotgun, which for some reason makes the Outlaw Shotgun feel like an actually good shotgun. 8 out of 10. I then found the Enhanced Enforcer AR, and I would actually say that after the gun became hit scanned, it is one of the most underrated ARs in the whole of Reload. 7 out of 10. I found the Hop Rock Dualies out of my first chest and got the dub just after. These exotics are the last remaining OG ones in Reload, and although the dub is absolute garbage and I'll give it a 2 out of 10, but the Hop Rock Dualies are actually really good and I'll even give them a 6 out of 10. The game after that, I killed this triple skin whose weapon in my opinion is the best death chest in Reload. The rankings for each rare gun and death chest will be on the screen. When I went to this house, I killed a person who just found the chapter 5 death chest, which is also a very solid death chest. The rankings for each rare gun and death chest will be on the screen. I then unexpectedly killed this guy who had a new Midas drum gun. This drum gun might be better than the Gilded Eye. 9 out of 10. After opening this chest, I pulled the Eradicator Shadow Precision SMG, which is basically a Shadow Tracker ripoff, but still very underrated. 7 out of 10. But then I opened this chest that had the Overclock Pulse Rifle, which in my opinion is the best mythic in Fortnite Reload. 10 out of 10. I hit this tower and it dropped a Mythic Outlaw. Although this Mythic isn't bad, it is still in my opinion the worst Mythic shotgun in Reload. 4 out of 10. At the end of the next game, I found the newest mythic in Reload, Nisha Striker AR, which because it became hitscan is one of the best scoped ARs in Reload, 8 out of 10. The next rare item was the Eradicator Shock and Slow Launcher, which when used on an opponent is overpowered, but honestly this exotic is nice, 4 out of 10. I then found another death chest. The rankings for each rare gun and death chest will be on the screen. The next game I killed a player who had the Lawless Slap Jug, which in my opinion is the best healing item ever. 9 out of 10. After killing this player, I found Double, and it is the same exotic as Trouble which I ranked earlier. In my final game of this challenge, I eliminated a guy who found the pizza dev chest, but this time he had the Accelerant Hollow Twister instead. The Accelerant Hollow Twister is slightly worse than the Mythic one, but it's still really good, 9 out of 10. I then heard a mammoth pistol in the background, which after killing the final player completed the challenge. If you guys enjoyed that video, make sure to subscribe as over 90% of you watching have not done so. And that would also help me get closer to my goal of 20,000 subscribers in 2026.